Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today we're going to be going over our daily movement. Today's workout is going to be focusing on our lower body as well as our core. So you guys are new here, I would love your support by subscribing and giving me a comment below of what you want to see more of. So for today's workout, you're going to do two pieces of equipment. Ideally, I'll give you guys some modifications if need be. We are going to be doing using a pair of dumbbells and a bench or box if you have this. If you don't have a bench or box, you could use a chair or maybe a couch if you're in your little living room, but I would really love to have something secure that's not going to move too much. All right, so the superset's going to be focusing on the lower body and core, like I said. We are going to be using some dumbbells. I'm going to show you guys some variations, so stay tuned for that. The first exercise is going to be a Bulgarian split squat. So a Bulgarian split squat is where we're going to have one leg elevated and we'll have the opposite leg in front. A rough guide, I'm going to demonstrate everything body weight and show you how you can implement the dumbbells into the routine. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3 feet away from my bench or box. Again, this is just a rough guide. So if I have my foot here, my opposite leg will be on the back end of the bench. This is a guide. So if you have longer legs, it may change. If you have shorter legs, it might change. But what you want to test for is that back ankle is elevated right at the edge of the bench. So as I bend and lower, my ankle is right at the edge. My foot can be flexed in kind of a neutral position right here. I also want to make sure that I feel stable in the front leg. I also want to make sure that my knee is not going too far past my toes. Now I will note, knees going past your toes is not a bad problem, but for today's movement standards, I just want to make sure that your knee is relatively close to your ankle versus it going past your toes or being way behind your ankle. So for here, I'm going to have my weight evenly split. There are two ways to kind of approach this movement. Some people will say that you want to push your butt back, chest come forward. You want to target more of that glute. Other people will say you want to go straight down, keep the torso elevated, right? I like to personally do a blend of both of these. So I'm going to push my butt back and down. Chest will come forward slightly. So I want to think of targeting both glutes and hamstrings as well as my quads. But notice as I come forward, chest comes torso comes down, but I'm still engaging my core. I'm going to press through that midfoot, standing all the way up. So to switch and show the other side, I'll give you guys the rep scheme here shortly. In this position, I'm balanced, back foot, front foot. I want to have maybe a little bit more weight on my front leg versus my back leg, as this is the leg we're training. I'm going to go as low as I can and then stand all the way back up, opening my hip at the top. We want to focus on having our hip square versus rotating out. So you may need to adjust your foot position depending on where you're at. We're going to perform 8 split squats on one leg, then perform 8 split squats on the other leg. So you'll go through all 8 on one leg, pressing to the midfoot, engaging the lower leg as well as your core, standing to all the way tall. 8 and 8. Then we're going to go to the second movement, which is going to be a single leg dumbbell deadlift. Now we can do 2 dumbbells, 1 dumbbell. 2 dumbbells is ideal because it's going to balance you a little bit more, right? The single dumbbell will also tax your core or utilize your core a little bit more. So if you want to use more of the core, we can drop the 1 dumbbell and do 2. I'll demonstrate everything here in a second, the variations. So for the single leg deadlift from the front, if I start with my left leg on the Bulgarian split squats, we'll start on the left leg for the single leg deadlifts. I want my back leg as a kickstand. They call it a flamingo leg. So it kind of looks like this, right? I kind of use the kickstand a touch, but I want to have most of my weight on that left leg here. From the front angle, I'm going to bend in my hip and knees, lowering the dumbbells to the floor, just the dumbbell will touch. I'm going to go all the way down, dumbbells touch, press through that foot, and extending all the way up. From the side profile, it kind of looks like this. If I keep my leg touching, then I'm just going to have a touch point with that back leg. If I decide to lift it up, I'm going to bend at the knee and hip, dumbbells touch, and then I extend out. You'll perform 8 reps on one leg, switch 8 reps on the left leg. So if you go left, right, then go left, right, just in terms of synchronity with the body. Now, I'll provide some modifications here in a second. We are going to be doing 3 or 4 rounds, right? 4. So if you're newer to fitness, relatively new to this movement, start with just your body weight, no dumbbells, right? And do 3 rounds. If you're more experienced, grab the dumbbells and do 4 rounds. I'm going to show some variations with the dumbbells if you only have a dumbbell or you only have a kettlebell, how you can mitigate that. The body weight version of the single leg dumbbell deadlift will just be kind of a single leg toe touch. I'm going to go as low as I can, bending the knees and hips, touch the floor, and then stand up. Notice that my back is staying relatively straight. I do have a small flexion, like a little bit of a bending here. I'm getting as low as I can while extending that leg. So from this angle, you guys can see, I bend at the knee and hip, touch, and extend. I also want to make sure I'm staying relatively square, meaning I don't want to like rotate like so. If you can't go all the way down because of mobility, then just go as low as you can. Maybe that's to the shin, maybe that's to the knee, but this is gonna help you build unilateral strength in the lower body as well as the core. Here are the variations. If you only have one dumbbell for the split squats, well, if I have 2 dumbbells for the split squats, let's talk about that first, sorry. If I'm here, dumbbells can be on by my thighs, performing those reps. I could also bring up to my front rack position. All right, if you have that one dumbbell, we'll drop that one dumbbell. Angie, come here. We can either hold it goblet squat style like so, or one dumbbell head in each hand. That will just look like so. As I get set up, I'm keeping that load in the front rack position. If you have a kettlebell, same thing, kettlebell here. Most likely you'll be holding the handle down. That is that variation. Now, if you have one dumbbell for the single leg dumbbell deadlifts, or you wanna work on the core a little bit more, then you're just gonna use one dumbbell for the opposite leg. So if I'm standing my right leg, dumbbell's gonna have the left hand will have the dumbbell, excuse me, and I can either keep my palm facing me or come off to the side. I personally like my palm facing me, so dumbbell kind of slides down my leg as I go down, and then I'm gonna come all the way back up. Notice that I do not have one dumbbell pitched forward like I did with one dumbbell in each hand. Because I only have one hand, I'm most likely gonna have the dumbbell even. I'm not gonna go as low, meaning dumbbell touch the floor. I'll go about mid-shin, then I'll stand. From the other side, looks like so. Stabilize on the left leg. I go as low as I can, and then extend all the way up. Remember, your back leg there is a kickstand. If you don't feel comfortable lifting the toes or leg, just keep it there. Remember, 8 on 8 on each leg for the split squat and the single dumbbell deadlift. Rest about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. If you need a little more time, rest 2:30, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And again, complete 3 to 4 rounds of this exercise. If you have questions specifically, go ahead and drop them below. The dumbbell load should be challenging, but it should be a load that you can complete all 3 to 4 sets at. If you feel like you have to lower the weight, or you feel like you might be able to not make it through all sets, decrease that load from the beginning. The goal and the focus here is to build unilateral strength, help even out your legs, but also focus on your core. Remember, core is from your hips to your shoulders. Core is not just your abs, right? It's your obliques, your spinal erectors, a lot more is involved. If you found this beneficial, please share with others. My goal is to help reach as many people as possible, help as many people as possible out there, and I'm able to do that by those that have shared the video. I appreciate your feedback. Feel free to leave a comment or share anything below that you would like to see more of, and I'll give you guys more tutorials.